Games. Scout meets Scouts. Single Scouts or pair of Scouts or complete patrol are taken out about 2 miles apart. They are then made to move towards each other, either alongside a road or by giving each side a landmark to move toward, such as a steep hill or a big tree which is directly behind the other party and will thus ensure their coming together. The patrol which first sees the other wins. This is signified by the patrol leader holding up his patrol flag for the umpire to see and sounding his whistle. A patrol need not keep together, but that patrol wins which first holds up its flag. So it is well for scouts to keep in touch with the patrol leader by signal, voice, or message. Scouts may employ any ruse such as climbing into trees, hiding in carts, etc. But they must not dress up in disguise unless specially permitted. This game may also be practiced at night. Debates. A good exercise for a winter's evening in the meeting room is to hold a debate on any subject of topical interest with the scoutmaster acting as chairman. He will see that there is a speaker prepared beforehand to introduce and support one view of the subject and another speaker prepared to expound another view. After hearing them, he will call on others present in turn to express their views. In the end, he takes the votes for and against the motion. At first, boys will be very shy of speaking unless the subject selected by the scoutmaster is one which really interests them and takes them out of themselves. After a debate or two, they get greater confidence and are able to express themselves coherently. They also pick up the proper procedure for public meetings, such as seconding a motion, moving amendments, obeying chairman's ruling, voting, according votes of thanks to chair, etc. Mock trial. In place of a debate, a mock trial may be interesting as a change. For instance, the story of the Elsden murder given in yarn number 2 might form the subject of a trial. The scoutmaster acts as judge and details below to the following parts. Prisoner, William Winter. Witness, boy, Robert Hinmarsh. Witness, police constable. Witness, villager. Witness, old woman, friend of the murdered woman. Counsel of prisoner. Counsel of prosecutor. Foreman and jury, if there are enough scouts. Follow as nearly as possible the procedure of a court of law. Let each make up his own evidence, speeches, or cross-examination according to his own notions and imaginations along the lines of the story, but in greater detail. Do not necessarily find a prisoner guilty unless the prosecution proves its case to the jury. In summing up, the scoutmaster may bring out the fact that the boy, Hinmarsh, carried out each part of his duty of a scout in order to bring home the lesson to the boys. Unprepared place. The plot of a short, simple play is given, and each player is assigned his part with an outline of which he has to do and say. The scout act is making up the required conversation as they go along. This develops the power of imagination and expression. Play acting is a good fun. It doesn't matter what kind of voice you have so long as you get out your words clearly and distinctly. Here you find a picture of the unprepared place. Hints to instructors. In all games and competition, it should be arranged as far as possible that all the scouts should take part, because we do not want to have merely 1 or 2 brilliant performers and the others no use at all. All ought to get practice and all ought to be pretty good. In competitions where there are enough entries to make heats, ties should be run off by losers instead of the usual system off by winners, and the game should be to find out which are the worst instead of which are the best. Good men will strive just as hard not to be worst as they would gain a prize, and this form of competition gives the bad man most practice. Scout war songs. The Scout chorus. This is a chant by the African Zulus used to sing for the chief. It may be shouted on the march or used as an applause at games and meetings and campfires. It must be sung exactly in time. Leader, he sings Engoyama Gonyama. Chorus, Invobu Yabo Yabo Invabu. So this is repeated again and again to become a song. And the meaning is, leader, he is a lion. Chorus, yes, he is better than that, he is a hippopotamus. The Scout rally, to be shouted as a salute or in a game at any other appropriate time. Leader, be prepared. Chorus, zing a zing, bomb bomb. Stamp or bang something at bomb bomb. The Scout's call, for Scout to whistle to attract attention of another Scout. Scouts war dance. Scouts form up in one line with a leader in front, each holding his staff in the right hand and his left on the next man's shoulder. Leader sings the Engoyama song. Scouts sing chorus and advance a few steps at a time, stamping in unison on the long notes. At the second time of singing, they step backwards. At the third, they turn to the left, still holding each other's shoulders, and move round in a large circle, repeating the chorus until they have completed the circle. They then form a wide circle to the center of which one steps forward and carries out a war dance representing how he tackled and fought with one of his enemies. He goes through the whole fight in dumb show until he finally kills his foe. The Scouts, meantime, sings the Engoyama chorus and dance on their own ground. As soon as he finishes the fight, the leader starts the Be Prepared chorus, which they repeat 3 times in honor of the Scout who has just danced. Then they recommence the Engoyama chorus, and another Scout steps into the ring and describes in dumb how he stalked and killed a wild buffalo. While he does the creeping up and stalking of the animal, the Scouts all crouch and sing their chorus very softly, and as he gets close to the beast, they simultaneously spring up and dance and shout the chorus loudly. When he has slain the beast, the leader again gives the Be Prepared chorus in his honor, which is repeated 3 times. The Scouts banging their staffs on the ground at the same time as they stamp bomb bomb. At the end of the third repetition, bomb bomb is given twice. The circle then closes together. The Scouts turn to their left again, grasping shoulder with the left hand, and move off singing the Engoyama chorus, or if it is not desired to move away, they break up after the final bomb bomb. The Engoyama song should be sung in a spirited way and not drowned out dismally like a dirge. Now let's look at the picture. The war dance of the young men of the Kikuyu tribe in Africa provides the inspiration for the Scouts' war dance. Note to instructors. Although the war dance and song may seem at first sight to be gibberish, especially to those who have never had much to do with boys, yet there is a certain value underlying them as a corrective of self-consciousness. If you want, for instance, to get discipline among your lads, it means they are constantly bottling up some energy that requires an occasional vent or safety valve. A war dance supplies such vent, but still in a certain disciplined way. Also, it forms an attraction to wilder spirits who would never join a band of quieter boys. Mr. Tomlin, the hooligan tamer, catches and gets his lad in hand entirely by the force of energetic singing and action in chorus. Most schools have their rah-rah choruses, of which zing a zing, bomb bomb is a type. For winter in northern countries, Arctic expedition, each patrol makes a toboggan with ropes and harness for two of their number to pull, or for dogs if they have them and can train them to the work. Two scouts go a mile or so ahead. The remainder with the toboggan follow, finding the way by means of the spoor and by such signs as the leading scout may draw in the snow. All the signs seen on the way are to be examined, noted, and their meaning read. The toboggan carries rations and cooking pots and other supplies. You will find a picture of that here. Build snow huts. These must be made narrow according to the length of branches available for forming the roof, which can be made with brushwood covered with snow. Snow fort. The snow fort may be built by one patrol according to the boy's own ideas of fortification, with loopholes for looking out. When finished, it will be attacked by hostile patrols using snowballs as ammunition. Every scout struck by a snowball is counted dead. The attackers should, as a rule, number at least twice the strength of the defenders. Siberian Manhunt. One scout is fugitive, runs away across the snow in any direction he may place until he finds a good hiding place and then conceals himself. The remainder, after giving him 20 minutes start or more, proceeds to follow him by his tracks. As they approach his hiding place, he shoots at them with snowballs, and everyone who is struck falls out dead. The fugitive must be struck 3 times before he is counted dead. In towns, scouts can be very useful in snowy weather, working as a patrol under the leader in clearing away the snow from pavements, houses, etc., and in fog by acting as guides. This they may either do as a good turn or accept money to be devoted to their funds.